can show verses.
This is senior batch? Senior? The class goes till 8 or what is the time? Coming first time for this one. I'm coming first time at 7:20.
You had come earlier, but long before.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी यशोदानंद यशोदानंदन व्रज जन यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा जय राधा जय जय प्रभु जय राम जय श्री प्रभुपाद की ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोविष्णं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधुवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादां सहगण ललिताः श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नाम। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदाय कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरकृष्ण हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतान् परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य। So I'm very happy to be with all of you after a long time. The topic somewhat avoiding fault finding and avoiding fault finding and criticism.
Focusing on one's spiritual
Hmm. Focusing on one's spiritual development, avoiding fault finding and focusing on one's spiritual development. Both are very well connected topics. Actually, in our system, Pune training program, we're fortunate to go through many seminars, many sessions from the very beginning. Those of you who may have come from a voice background, and right from the first year, you get to hear so many things, so many camps, long lectures. So you get used to hear a lot. And some of you might have joined during working time, this yoga directly. And then also because so many speakers come, devotees come, get to hear a lot. Because Shravanam, hearing is the very basic foundational principle of spiritual life. However, Shravanam is not just about hearing. After hearing, one has to contemplate. Shravanam, Mananam. What did I hear? How does it apply? And then there is Nityajasanam, then it is application. Okay. Till now, I was not aware. I was in ignorance. I was not knowing how to do this. Now I know this. Now I will do it this way. Or I was doing something which was not very conducive for my spiritual life. Now I know it should not be done. And I'll give it up. This is how the process works. After Shravanam, after hearing, then we contemplate and then we apply. And all the changes which have brought in our life have happened through this transition only. Right? Like we come and we are told, don't eat non-veg, some was eating. Then we think, yeah, it makes sense. It's violence against creatures whom we are eating and it's not good. So we think and then we make a plan that let me give it up. There is opposition, but then we have our reasons to not do that. Right? We are convinced about that. There is push and pull always. Anything you want to give up, there will be resistance internally and externally. Internally from our own mind because we may like things, and externally from other friends, relatives, family members. It's there. But once we have understood and we have decided based on what we have heard and how our intelligence is convinced, then we will, even if there is challenge and resistance, we'll go against it to do what we have understood is right. Or it may be about leaving onion, garlic, tea, and coffee. They are oftentimes challenging tasks, not that easy. But we can understand how the process works, right? Tea and coffee, especially. Onion garlic also. Onion garlic is so rampant these days. Practically every. How many of you were taking onion garlic before you came to school? You're not taking. You come from Vaishnav family. Parents were doing it already. Yeah, his parents already. Everyone practically. Tea and coffee. Everyone. Cold drink, of course. How will life go on without cold drink? Even devotees still take some time. So, how did it work? We heard it. Although we liked it, we were spending money for it, but we understood it is not good. And then we decided to give it up. And then there were temptations. Sometimes we go to relatives' house and they want to offer. So that's the part of hospitality. Earlier, Madhupark used to be offered, what we offered to teachers, what you get a Sharanamrit. but, but nowadays it has got replaced by tea and coffee, biscuits and snacks, ready-made things, all packed, opened, and they feel great honor in spending money in that. Nobody cooks practically. They spend money to get some ready-made snacks, or at least a ready mix, so that they can make it and serve. So whatever it is, but we gave it up. And similarly, it is about accepting things. Putting a tilak and going in public or otherwise also it was not easy. In the beginning, we often wonder, yes, how odd people look. Now it's like, okay, it's acceptable, and some devotees even go to their companies and travel with tilak. Some may put water tilak, wearing gantimala, wearing dhoti kurta, changing the hairstyle. Earlier, there was a hairstyle book, and it was one of the adventures to go and see what kind of hairstyle is famous now, popular now. I don't know how many of you did, but I was a little extra on that side. so I did everything what was possible. Festival, those days. So now it's simple. Because I realize this is what is conducive. This is what is better. Sitting in dhoti kurta is easier than sitting in jeans pants, right? Easier. Easy to wash, easy to wear fresh every day. And don't get agitated, there's no message written, So many stupid messages. People have become some on the wall of the house. They will put, do not put a sticker here, do not put posters here. You have seen that? Poster lagana mana hai. And they will wear t-shirt and they'll write, put poster here. So they're walking, moving advertisers, moving with slogans and all that. Life has changed so much. So we gave it up and took to simple dressing, simple lifestyle. We started rising up early in the morning, started chanting on beats. So we have already accepted many things and we have already given up many things. So we have to know that the process is same. Sometimes we will not have consciously observed it. Right? That we hear it and we contemplate that what is the gain I am getting or what is I'm losing if I don't do that. And then I make a plan to give it up or accept it, whatever. Favorable things are accepted, unfavorable things are rejected. So when it comes to fault finding, it's the same thing. We have heard sufficiently. I'm very sure you can hear from Radha Shampoo's lectures, long lectures. But to actually avoid fault finding and criticism, one has to contemplate. What am I gaining out of it? Any person in this world does anything because he gains something from that. Or he's a madman. Only two possibilities are there. Either he's gaining something or he is mad. The madman doesn't know why he does things. So definitely none of us is mad. Right? Anybody have any mental issue? So one has to find out what is the gain, because this is a little subtle. You're not getting anything gross, but mind gets some kind of pleasure. Some kind of pleasure in finding fault and criticizing. Why? Because the false ego is surcharged. Bhakti in a real sense is a struggle against false ego. All these things are easier. But real battle, real war is with our own false ego. There's nobody in picture. Not the other devotees, not the system, not the government, not the Mughals, not the Muslims. Nothing. There's no one and nothing in picture. Bhakti is an individual struggle with our own false ego. And once we win that battle, then everything else is set right. That's the essence of bhakti. Fight with our own false ego. Because false ego gives us a conception of I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm better than others. And because of maintaining that conception, the mind and intelligence, as faithful servants of false ego, they try to logically and emotionally support the concept of false. So false ego is already set. I'm good, I'm wonderful, I'm better than others. I should get respect, I should get favors, I should be well treated. So all these conceptions are there. So now to support it, if I'm better than another, it should be logically proven. So then intelligence and mind comes in action. Then this here, this devotee is having this fault, I'm not having, so I'm better. Mind and intelligence, without speaking vocally, in a subtler way, are always trying to prove that we are better than others. And that is a root tendency of fault finding. That's a root cause. Because we want to be better than others. We want to feel superior to others. We want to be seen as good devotee, wonderful devotee, good sadhaka, or very good in accomplishing things, good managers, even within our Krishna conscious fold. So this being the root cause, then the mind intelligence become activated. Because we are comparing with others, trying to prove ourselves better than others. That becomes the root cause. So one has to really understand and observe it, that yes, this is how things work. Otherwise, just try to say, what is the reason? Why do we find? Anyone has ever found fault in anyone else? If not, then the topic is irrelevant. if nobody has ever found fault in anyone, then what is the use of discussing of something which is not happening? Correct? Correct or not? So, nobody has found fault. Ever found fault in someone? Just think of it. What was the cause? What did you gain after that? Yes. We do things with a purpose, correct? You agree with that? We do things with a purpose. Some purpose is there. When we do anything, there's a purpose behind it. So what is the purpose behind finding fault? If we ever found fault in someone, maybe once in our lifetime we found fault in one devotee. What is the cause?
I
Yeah.
bad.
That this devotee is doing. No, that may be out of well wishes, that's all right. But that is not like, in a way, finding fault or criticizing. Anyway, but still, even in that sense, you'll find that I'm able to do something which he's not able to do. That is the cause of it. I'm able to chant well and he's sleeping. Yes, see, foolish person. Sleeping and chanting. Chanting is the yoga dharma. He's sleeping. But when I'm thinking, I'm awake. Correct, huh? I think I'm awake and I'm chanting better. Still there is comparison. Still when you feel pity, it is because it's a comparative study that I'm better and he's just like you feel pity on beggar. So what is the feeling? I am rich, I have money, and I can give him some 10, 20 rupees. Let's see. He's begging and I'm giver. There's a feeling of superiority with the correct. Otherwise, if I understand that I myself am struggling so much, then I myself have my own challenges. And maybe he's struggling definitely in certain aspects, but then there are many other things in which he's doing better than what I'm doing. But yeah, that is one way. What else? Why do we find fault? Want to feel superiority. He is doing this and I'm not doing this. Or he's not able to do this and I'm able to do this. Either way. Right? So there is a feeling, subtle feeling. I am better. So we may criticize. Fault finding is mental, criticism is vocal. They're both interconnected. Without finding fault, we can't criticize. No, for criticizing, you have to have a reason. What is the reason? The fault is the reason. Like Ramchandra Puri when he came to see Mahaprabhu. So see the ants. Ants are eating the sweet. And then he says, Sannyasi hokar ke tum meetha khate ho. So first he found fault, then he vocally spoke it, that is criticism. Fault finding and criticism go well together. Right? One is mental. You find it and then you speak it, that is criticism. What else? Just think of it. Whenever you find fault once in this lifetime, in one devotee, long back, 8 years, 9 months, 2 days, 3 hours back, you found fault in one devotee. The only fault we have ever found in any devotee. So just think, what are the reasons? Why did we find you in that?
Because we expect continuity,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we expect and we think we are there and he's not there. Correct, ना? अगर दोनों ही नहीं है तो बोलेंगे स्ट्रगल चल रहा है जी, आएंगे उधर, ऐसा थोड़े, हम शुद्ध भक्त थोड़े हैं अभी. Right? But we expect from others when we feel we are somewhere, and then we say they are not there. And when we feel shortage of something, we say we are sadhakas. Na? It will take time. How many years have passed? Time लगेगा ना, कोई जादू है क्या? So when we see our shortcoming, we justify in our mind. We give a good reasoning. And when we see others, then we want them to be, magically advanced, right? And for ourselves, we say, हम लगे उत्साह, निश्चय, धैर्य. For ourselves, we give discount, and for others, we become very strict. It's always comparative. Unless we compare, we're not able to find fault. Fault finding is an outcome of comparison mentality only. Right? We compare what he should be and what he is, what I am and what he is, what I expect him to be and what he is. It's always on a comparative mode. Right? Anytime, just think about it, because oftentimes what happens is that in Krishna consciousness, hearing also becomes mechanical. 7:20 there's a class and we have to be there. That's the schedule. And there's a class and we have to make notes. And after notes, then we have to take prasad and go to company. And that is where we have to work. Now we have to do something to earn money, write a software program, or do whatever business or job we are doing. That is where the intelligence becomes awakened. But in Krishna consciousness, oftentimes intelligence becomes shut down. Even hearing, we hear, but it becomes shut down. We heard, and then it's not that we are hearing about fault finding for the first time in life. Anyone who is hearing there's something called fault finding, and now we are dealing with it. I've heard so many times. Now we had the whole section of Vritrasur. Last year it was going on, that whole Vritrasur is going on. Mother Parvati is cursing Vritrasur so much. Right? So fault finding is a very commonly recurring thing because it's a big problem in bhakti. That's why the symptom of the pure devotee is Anya Ninda Adi Shunyam. When we make the propensity to criticize others as zero, Anya Ninda Adi Shunyam. Just like Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Ninda Adi, Anya Ninda Adi Shunyam. When you make it zero, then you become pure devotee. So till the time we are not pure devotee, till then we will have some propensities. It is not zero, it will be of some grade. It will be 10, 20, 30, 40%, whatever. So this topic of Ninda is so grave and so serious that this is the singular criteria for becoming pure devotee. Right? When Mahaprabhu was there, he said, with my hands raised, I proclaim, do only two things and you'll attain the lotus feet of Krishna. What is that? What are the two things? Chant the holy names and do not criticize anyone. A serious thing. It takes practice and it takes endeavor to do that. Only two things. Nothing. How many books you distributed, how many temples you constructed, how many else other things you did, nothing. Chant the holy names sincerely and do not criticize. And also within chanting of the holy name there is Vaishnava Aparadha. And what it says? What is the first offense? To blaspheme the devotees. Blasphemy is a higher version of criticism only. It's a superlative degree of criticism. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names of the Lord. So within the chanting of the holy name also, the major obstacle is blaspheme a devotee. And it's very particular. To blaspheme a devotee, we're not even talking about others. Right? That means it happens in association of devotees only. Unless we live with devotees, how will we blaspheme devotees? Unless we know devotees. So it's a serious thing. The scripture it is taken very seriously. But we have to go to the root cause and really analyze, why do I do that? Right? As we say, we feel superior, you expect things. It's very subtle. It will take a little while, it will take a little goodness to understand it. Otherwise, we may make notes and forget the thing. But it will take a little goodness to observe our own system, how it works. Because these are subtler things. Na? We work with mind intelligence only. And ego is even subtler. So mind intelligence cannot capture ego. That's the difficulty. Ego is subtler than mind and intelligence. And we work with mind and intelligence. Like right now also we are intellectually understanding. Ego is subtler. So understanding the nature of ego is practically by the grace and mercy of the Lord only. But we can try to attain that grace by hearing attentively and somewhat contemplating using our intelligence. The intelligence which is used for spiritual contemplation is not material intelligence. It is the spiritual intelligence given by the Lord. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam vyantite. So that spiritual intelligence can detect false ego. You're getting? There's a mind intelligence and false ego. False ego is subtler than this intelligence. But then, because of our sincere endeavors and prayers, then Lord gives Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He gives a separate intelligence, which is spiritual intelligence, which is able to detect the false ego. And with that Buddhi Yogam given by the Lord, then we are able to say, oh my God, I feel I am better than everyone else. I want that honor, being respected. And that's why I go around and find fault. So that is the process. It is not by this mental intelligence that we can even understand why do we find faults. It is by the grace of the Lord, by the spiritual intelligence given by the Lord. That so one has to really, understand these things at individual levels. Just like individually we understood, no, we have to give up this onion, garlic, tea, coffee, whatever. And individually we decided that yes, we will wear dhoti kurta, put tilak, put kanti wala, and take a bead back. Individually, not collectively. We individually understood that and adopted that and given up whatever we had. So individually, we will have to pray to Lord to reveal that, why do I find fault? Contemplate on that, and then the Lord will reveal. And then when one understands, it is not that understanding leads to completely giving up fault finding. No, it's a habit. It's like a dog's tail, right? It's a dog's tail. What if you take a dog's tail, put it in the pipe for 1,000 years, and still take out the pipe? What will likely to happen? Again, it will come. So much. It's so hell bent, as they said. Hell bent, really. The dog's tail. So similarly, even after understanding, then it will still not stop easily. We'll have to make an endeavor. But what happens then? The struggle begins at least. Then at least we are able to aware that I found fault. Why did I do that? At least we become consciously incompetent. That means we are conscious that we are failing. And then that leads to further. Right now we are unconscious incompetent. We find fault and we will not even know that I found fault. It just becomes a part of life. Yes, I kyun nahi kiya, aisa kyun kiya, yes. I mean, it takes a while to even know that when we are finding fault. It's just a very common part of routine thing, and because it's routine, it's everyday affair. Chalta hai. And before coming to Krishna consciousness, the kind of culture we have been in, fault finding, criticism, pulling lag, joking, sarcasm, that's life. That's life. That's all the conversation. That's how we meet friends and kya chal raha hai. And we meet, two people meet and talk about third person. That's life. So coming from that culture, now we come here, and then here is a society of devotee, and here the same habits continue. Two devotees meet and may talk about third devotee without any reason. Or we may very lightly remark or comment or sarcastically speak, and we may not be even aware of that. That is an unconscious incompetence. That means we are unconscious about our shortcomings also. At least by praying and by contemplation, we come to understand that I'm not supposed to find fault, but when I do that, I become aware. Why did I do this? It's not that we have overcome that, but we become aware that yes, I'm doing it. And then by becoming more consciously aware of how am I doing it, when am I doing it, then comes the level of conscious competence. That means when I'm very much aware, I have planned that I will not find fault with devotee, I will not find fault. And again, if I lose the guard gets loose, again I may speak in a remarking way. It happens. All of us have that lower nature still there. It has not yet got dissolved. Only thing is that because of our culture and because of our conscious understanding, we may not bring it out every now and then. But when difficult situation come, then we may forget we are devotee or what. I was coming in train, so I told that AC coach assistant that there's no pillow and blanket on my seat. I need that because it's very. They put a lot of heavy duty AC in train. I don't know how they do it, but they put a lot of heavy duty AC. Night sometimes I feel cold. And there though. So then again he went here back and forth here and there. Now it's 9 o'clock, 9:30. Sleep. So then I went to him. Then he's lying down on the like they're seeing him like upset. तुमको 4 बार बोला है तुमको सुनता नहीं है क्या? You know? हाँ समझते तो ये like. So what happened again? The main thing again, I could have talked very pleasantly only. No, I could have told, अरे आपको 4 बार बोला है, दे दो. The purpose was to get a blanket and pillow. But then because innate nature is not yet changed, we can convert it when we are a devotee circle. We can say, "Ha, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna." But when little tough time comes, then immediately person सुनता नहीं है कि 4 बार बोल के गया, इधर लेट रहा है, मेरे को उधर सोने को लेट हो रहा है. Like you lose all kind of compassion or kindness. There is one devotee, very, very, very wonderful devotee, very, very deep lover of Srimad Bhagavatam. I was once traveling with him. So when we boarded the train, then somebody was sitting in the train. So he became so agitated. I don't know, even till now I'm not able to understand. He's very, very mature devotee. But auto, स्वामी जी मैं उठ रहा हूँ लेकिन थोड़ा विनम्रता से बोले. That person telling, and this person telling, नम्रता से क्या बोलना, हमारी सीट के ऊपर बैठा है और बोलता है कि हमको नम्रता से बोलना चाहिए. And that person telling कि आप साधु हैं, आप तिलक लगाए हुए हैं, आप हरे कृष्णा वाले हैं, मैं सीट को लेके नहीं जा रहा हूँ घर पे. नहीं, सीट रेलवे की है और आपने बुकिंग किया, आपका ही है, मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन आपको बात करने का एटलीस्ट थोड़ा ठीक से बात करना चाहिए. I was shocked also because I've always heard Bhagavatam only from him. And the person really got so hurt and he said, आप साधु होकर के ऐसा व्यवहार करते हैं, आपको देखना चाहिए. He was a very gentlemanly person. He was not a ruffian. But he felt hurt. So फिर प्रसाद दिया. Now, I don't know what was the reason. But what I'm telling is that even if we are making advancement in we are otherwise okay, there are occasions when because that nature has not yet gone. In our heart, we have not yet realized the deep spiritual quality. We are covering up and we are, consciously competent. When we are conscious, we can act as a good devotee. And when the situation triggers us, then we forget everything about devotional service. And I have seen many, many examples. When devotees go out of devotee community, especially when they are not dealing with seniors, and they are at home or even sometimes at home also, they just behave very rashly, very harshly. And sometimes they're with outside and they have their own passionate nature and they are fighting. Like sometimes you're driving something and you hit someone. And as a devotee, you just say, "Oh, sorry." Maybe that is his mistake, but why to get into an argument? Waste time, na? Sometimes devotees say, नहीं वो गलत है, उसको सबक सिखा के दिखता नहीं है क्या, पागल है क्या? Like we went to one temple in Ayodhya. I was there 1 week back, and then the security guard was somewhat obstructing something, and this one of a devotee, he said, "पागल है क्या?" Security guard इतना afraid हो गया, पागल बोला मुझे को, पागल हो गया मैं. So I was telling him, तुम पागल मत. I didn't tell him, the security guard is doing a job, ना, समझता नहीं है क्या देखता है. So we go out of our limits actually because innate transition has not yet happened. But nothing bad. Conscious competence level, conscious uncompetence level, both are good, and this will go on for a long time. It will not happen immediately. It will happen in a long, long time because Anya Ninda Adi Shunyam, the day it happens, you are a pure devotee. You become pure devotee by going through Anartha Nivritti, and also it's all interconnected. At the stage of Anartha Nivritti, nobody can give that I will not find fault with anyone, I will not criticize just by will. It cannot happen. Just like we cannot give Anarthas by will, no? To decide tomorrow onward, I will not feel lust. No wonder that there will be beautiful women all around. They are all gopis serving Krishna. I am a sadhaka, I chant Hare Krishna. No, let's think like that. But then when the actual scene happens, then immediately the mind starts running back and forth, causing top. So, but this kind of contemplation helps to struggle. Bhakti, sadhaka's life is ultimately life of struggle. And as long as they are struggling, life is good for sadhaka. There's no struggle. Somebody asks, how are you? Fine, Guruji. Fine. It's problem. They are not fine. Sadhaka cannot be fine. Siddha can be fine. Siddha is not fine because he has a spiritual anchoring. But sadhaka cannot be fine because there is anartha nivritti going on. War is going on with anarthas. Then how can you be fine in the battlefield? Right? You can feel that the struggle is going on fine. At least I was struggling. So to avoid fault finding and criticism, this is an absolute must to observe. Why do I do that? What causes me to do that? What situation do I do that? And then do a little analysis, then make a little resolution. Yeah, I'll not do that. And then see how we fail in our resolution. Because one of the stages of anartha nivritti is niyama shama. You make rules, you take a resolution and it will fail. It is a bona fide symptom of a sadhaka at anartha nivritti stage. Don't feel any bad about it. So many times it happens. I mean, at least I keep on observing. I thought, okay, now in evening time, train, I chant 4 rounds before I sleep. 2 rounds I chanted and phone calls came. दो माला 9:30 बजे already सुबह उठ गए छोड़ दिया. So this kind of things always happen. We decide something and we leave in between because niyamak samaj. So similarly, we decide I will not criticize, I will not be sarcastic, I will not speak about another devotee in his absence. We may take this kind of resolutions, but you will find that they will not last so long. There's a struggle because there's a stage, na? It's a disease. It doesn't get cured just by thinking, okay, I'm fever and now I will take one pill and it will get over. No, it's a course, 7-day course of and it will get over. But if you want to really give a fault finding and criticism, this is the process to adopt. And then in due course of time, the fault finding criticism will reduce. And then gradually that day will come when we are purified in many other ways. And when we are become pure in our heart, then we will be able to give up fault finding completely. And in between, we have to keep on consulting and counseling ourselves. Everyone is a servant of Krishna. Everyone is serving Prabhupada's mission. Right? Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. So faults are everywhere. What is the big deal in finding faults? They're everywhere. So all this will come for training our intelligence and mind by the spiritual intelligence. All what we have heard will come for application. But process you have to start. There's no formula, there's no tablet, there's no injection, there's no pill to take and avoid fault finding and criticism over. It's a process. You have to get into the process. So modern time being a time of instant things, sometimes you want something instant should happen. Instant Krishna Prem, instant freedom from anarthas. No, it's a process. Natural things are process oriented. You put a seed today and the grains will come 3 months later. It's not like a button that you press the button and coffee comes down. Not like that. Natural things are more process oriented rather than product oriented. Right? So same way, progress in bhakti is a process, and we should be very willing to be in the process and enthusiastic about the process, determined to follow the process, and be patient while following the process. So to avoid fault finding criticism, we have to start this process of understanding why do I find fault, and to observe when do I find fault, and then again to go back, why did I find fault in this person, and to again make a little modification in our mindset. I will not do it next time. Today I will do it another devotee, not with this devotee. I understand. This devotee I will not find fault. So one step at a time one has to take. And then, gradually one will rise above. Another thing which can accelerate the process or which can catalyze the process to appreciate the devotee. So that's another positive thing. Apart from analyzing why do I find fault, then we start appreciating one quality or one activity of one devotee in one day. Not too long. One quality or something he did good. One appreciation for one devotee one day. So we try that, and that act as a positive boost because that pleases Guru and Krishna. So they give us more mercy, and then our mind becomes more strong, intelligence becomes more strong to avoid fault. So rather than finding fault, we find good. So this is another second thing what we can. One appreciation, one devotee, one day. There's so many devotees. Anyone, I mean, you like the dressing, you just go to somebody who dress very wonderful dressing. They're making so much hard work over only decoration they're making, diorama kind of decoration. You can appreciate that. Even if you don't know the person, you appreciate another person. Today's decoration was so wonderful. They made Govind Dev temple. They must have worked hard. Even doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That affects our heart. Even if you don't know the exact person, appreciation in third person is wonderful. Just like we keep on criticizing in third person. कौन किया है? इसको कौन किया? उसको कौन किया? Third party criticism goes on so much. You don't know also who did what, but right from a small thing to big thing, we do that. So third party appreciation is also acceptable. At least that very find one appreciation in the big campus. Anything you like, you just appreciate somebody who did it. And yeah, there's one avoiding fault finding. One more thing. Okay. Anyway, there are more things, but I will stop with these two things at this point of time. And maybe next time if I take again. Then what are the two things? Yeah, that is second thing. First thing is observe. Keep an inventory. First observe. No, first be convinced that I am finding fault. Otherwise, if I think I don't find fault, then what is the use of the whole seminar? Observe. Find where do I find fault and why do I find fault. Make that observation. Be convinced that I am doing something which is not healthy for my spiritual life. I am drinking poison willingly. Mahaprabhu said that. Finding fault, criticizing devotees is like drinking poison willingly. First, we understand that I am doing that. I have the disease of finding fault. First, be convinced by observation. Nobody else can convince. We have to convince ourselves. So, first is self-observation. And then there's a whole process, self-observation, self-counseling, and then self-improvement. And then, reiterating the process. That is first. And second is, while we are doing this with observing and we find fault, consciously I find good and appreciate. One appreciation, one day for one devotee. Right. So these are just two things which I am telling as of now. There are many more things. Is always the case. Spiritual life is unlimited, very broad. But do these two things using your intelligence, and prayers are always there to the Lord to help us. But do these two things, and then only this will be addressed. Otherwise, it will not be addressed. The problem will remain. In fact, what happens when you become senior, we feel we have the license now to criticize. That's a big problem. The younger people sometimes feel, yeah, I'm criticizing, I'm finding fault. But as we become senior, superior, elder, then we feel that now I have got the license. Now I can freely criticize. And that's why you find on internet not young people writing, all these big people writing criticism. Many people write. So they feel, but this is unfortunate. That means they have totally missed out the mercy of the Lord. If one truly gains the mercy of the Lord, he understands that he has anartha of fault finding and he tries to give it up. If somebody is neglected by the mercy of the Lord, then he relishes fault finding. He takes pleasure in fault finding. And he feels the fault he has found, nobody has ever found this is fault. Innovative in fault finding. He can find fault where there is perhaps no fault. He can find fault in persons who may have no fault, like Ramchandra. The goal of his life was to find faults and criticize. So that's unfortunate. But it does happen. It will happen with majority of the people in ISKCON. Because unless one very seriously contemplate and gets to the root and works on that, it will not happen automatically, even by hearing. So hearing is further, na? Shravanam, Mananam, Nitidhyasana. One has to very consciously endeavor. And it's not easy. Because it's a old habit. It's turning out for millions of lifetimes. Material life means fault finding, criticism, sarcasm. That's what material life, material conversation, material talks are all about. And we've all done that. So now to suddenly give up that habit is not easy. But if you practice it, then gradually it will happen. Okay, so we'll stop here. Any questions or otherwise, I don't know what.
It's regarding the first nama aparadh, like we say to blaspheme the devotees. Like for example, we have criticized a devotee, a blasphemer devotee, and sometime later that devotee has disappeared from this world or has left his body or something, and then we realize and then we regret. And so, what to do in that situation? How to rectify that?
First of all, by knowing that it happened, we should ensure that our equations and our accounts are all settled with all those who are living still. Let's not wait for some other to leave. The first lesson to learn is that whoever is there around us with whomsoever we may have, we can go to them because they're still there in their physical form. They can relate and we should settle the accounts. And for those, who have left and we could not beg forgiveness, we could not, ask for forgiveness, who left already. Then we should repent and we should pray to the Lord, forgive us. And we should pray to them wherever they are, they forgive us. But they are eternal. It's not that they are not in this body, so they are not living. They are eternally existing in some form or other, depending on their advancement. They may be in the spiritual world or another place somewhere. They may be in the same community in another, form. So we pray to their eternal soul. Not that body. Anyway, we don't pray. Even when we are talking now, also, it's basically because soul is there. There is relation. It's covered up, so we're not able to understand that. But ultimately, because of soul, there is anything in the body. The body was always dead. Body was just a medium, but yeah, it's a medium by which we can connect to people. But still, the soul is there, but they're not accessible directly where they were accessible through the body. So we pray wherever they are, pray that they forgive us for what we did, and we repent for that, and we share it with one or two devotees, saying that I did that; it was a mistake. Some of the people whom they were very close to, we ask forgiveness for them also. They were very close. And we pray to the Lord also for forgiveness upon us for that. Because once they leave the body, then nothing much can be done in that. We can still ask forgiveness from the spiritual perspective. And we should definitely settle our accounts and we should not wait for more people to go and then keep on repeating the process. Today, if I leave, everything is settled. No grudges, nothing. I've settled my account. So that's why before you travel somewhere or go out and see if satisfied hai nothing. Loose ends are not there. So we don't know nowadays. World is so different. Accidents are there, heart attacks are there. This month of May is such a terrible month. I mean, I personally witnessed 10 deaths. First witness participated in some way. No, Parthan Prabhu, he left, he was just 45-year-old. And now further Ashw's father. Some were old, some were young. Like that. We don't know when we will leave or somebody else will leave. So let us not keep loose ends. Let us tie them together and let us settle our equations, settle our emotions. So that's something we should do.
That by seeing such a person, particular person, uh, the anger or the fault finding suddenly come up.
Correct.
Suddenly, I may not know that person, but suddenly it came up. So, is it because of previous karma that we did some wrong with him?
It can have a previous connection. We are all sometimes together, the last life, this life. But yet, it will take a little understanding of why does it happen. And even if we are not able to find a reason, we have to train our mind. The next time I see the person, I will not be spontaneous. I will not be reactive. Not reactive. Reactive means that it just automatic reaction happens. So even if it is there, then also we have to use our intelligence. Even if I see him, I may keep a distance from him because I know that I may again get into that zone for whatever reason. So still I have to plan that I don't end up in criticizing. Still, so I have to consciously take that call. Like I thought, next time if I don't get, still next time I go and I will say that okay, I have not received this pillow and all you give me this, rather than sarcastically telling. सुनाई नहीं देता है क्या दिखता नहीं है क्या मैं वेट कर रहा हूँ purpose is to get a pillow otherwise that's all I'm not going to do anything else so we should be goal focused but what happens that when we get hurt when ego gets hurt then we want to take a revenge for the ego satisfaction nothing much happens the goal is same ultimately you get a pillow and blanket that's all and you're never going to meet the person again in the life, perhaps. So nothing much happens. But we are, rather than focusing on the goal of what I want to do, we become focused on my emotion. So this is how the world functions. So we become goal oriented. Okay, I don't know for what reason my chemistry with this devotee or this person doesn't match. So till the time I overcome that, I can't become advanced in one day. So till the time I don't become advanced and I overcome this emotion and this problem of mine, what I should do? Then I should, keep a healthy distance. Not that he's wrong, not thinking that he's wrong, knowing that I have a weakness. You see, in our life, for anything we do, any situation we undergo, we should learn to take responsibility for that. And if you learn this one formula of taking responsibility for everything that happens in our life, Vishram Purna Sukhayate, you'll have no misery. Because misery is because we think problem is outside and we can't control it. Right? But when you understand that problem is with me and I'm dealing with it, then you're satisfied. Whatever way you can deal with it. So you don't keep distance because he's wrong and he's problematic. Because I can't deal with it. I don't know how to deal. Right? Just like if I don't know swimming, I don't go in deep waters. I just take achaman. I don't know swimming. Those who know swimming, they can ride on the waves also. Right? Even Jagannath, we have seen the waves are so ferocious. But there are people who are just lying down, naliyas, they call them naliya. And they are the divers. So somebody drowning, then they will run into the waves and get that person up. Not only they will come out, they will know, because they know the art of dealing with waves. I don't know, so I do achaman and beach. Not that ocean is a problem, because ocean is ocean. As waves, that's the nature of ocean. There are people who know how to tackle waves. They are good. I don't know, so I keep away. So I can keep away from situation or a person, but with the feeling that it is my issue. Not that the situation is bad or the person is bad. This attitude is very important. If we are in this attitude that I am not qualified and I am improving, I am making progress, then you will make progress. And if I am in the attitude, the situation is worse, these people are bad, then I will make degradation. I will not make advance. So reason is very important. But in certain situations, it's fine if you don't understand, because mind and ego is so complicated, not easily understood. We can still think, why that triggers me? Why does it happen? Even if it happens, then how do I respond properly, not react improperly? The good thing about mind is it can be trained. The good thing about mind is it is trainable. It's like a small child, but a small child, you engage well and tell him what to do, he will do it very nicely. You keep engaged. That's the best thing about mind. It is trainable, but proactively. You have to train it before, not in the situation. Like a child, one has to tell, beta, we will go there, don't ask for chocolate, we will give you chocolate at home, don't worry. Because if he told, then he knows, okay, I'll get. If he's not knowing anything, then he sees the chocolate, he will start crying. And now he has seen the chocolate, now no matter how much you pacify, sometimes plane and train, you see children beating hands and crying. Parents can't do anything because now you can't train once it has gone. That's the situation. So same thing with the mind. Mind can be trained before it comes in contact with a distracting situation. But once it comes and is not trained, then that situation, one has to. It will act in reacting only. One will react. Later on, one will contemplate and train for next time. But it train proactively. We think, I'll go to office. I'll not look here and there. I'll do this. I'll chant well. I will take out some time for reading in the day, and it's all possible. But we have not planned and not told the mind the plan, then the mind will make its own ideas. So maybe we may not be aware of what leads to that, but we should know that what is favorable for our spiritual life. Do that. Respond properly. Keep a distance if need be. Contemplation is unavoidable in the path of progress in spiritual life. It's not optional. It's there. Unless without contemplation, how do we really accept things and reject things which are unfavorable, accept which are favorable? That requires contemplation, and it becomes subtler. Gross things are all done now. Grossly, we are all devotees. We are all Vaishnavas. But subtly now, to deal with the subtle habits, attitude, that is more like finer, and that's why it takes a little more time and energy to do that compared to gross things. But there's no option. One has to do that. I asked this question to at least a dozen people. Everyone's saying, without proper contemplation, thinking, reflecting, slowly improving, All people, what you hear from all people, all books, what you read, all lectures you hear, they will all come to your help. But endeavor you have to make. It is not that I hear something and then the fault finding is gone. No, it will not happen. Hearing will help you to contemplate. Why do I find fault? Mahaprabhu will not like it. Prabhupada will not like it. All okay. They have to put it into practice, and that we have to do individually. Nobody else can do it for us. Somehow, by with great fortune, if we are very innocent from previous life or life, and we just are, we just don't see faults by our inbuilt given nature. We are innocent. And it's well and good, but most of us are intellectuals, and intelligence and emotion sometimes is contrasting. Intelligence lead to analysis and what is right, what is wrong, what emotions are just carried away. So most of us, those who come from educated background especially, we are intellectuals. We are not just innocent to just accept anything, everything, and be just that. So for us, it's a must that we have to be introspective, reflective, contemplative, and that only will gradually lead to overcome the issues which we have, under that we have, and make progress. Just last one. It's 8:20 now. You have a clock.
Only like you said about the we are supposed to avoid the situation if something like that comes, but sometimes we are forced to stay in that situation. Suppose we go to office for job and all, so we all have someone to purify in our life. So
We all have.
someone in our life somehow will be there who will purify us. So like if you go, suppose if a boss is there, it's not going good. So we can one time, two time, three time, as you said, we can contemplate and we can दबा सकते हैं उस चीज को ऊपर. After some time, it just comes out.
Yeah, but we have to see. I mean, there are certain things which are not conducive for devotional service. So one has to either change oneself and make advancement to rise to meet that need of the situation, or one has to change the situation. If we are too stressed because of the boss or whatever, we might need to change the job also. This is giving us so much stress, and we are feeling so negative about him, and we are feeling bad about him, and we are not able to control ourselves, and we are not at a level where we can be kind to him. Somehow, then we have to change the situation. Change of situation not the first option, but it is not out of the option list also. It's not the first option that okay, I had some quarrel and then I just like people, love at first sight and divorce at first sight. That is not the process. But if you find consistently that I am not finding the situation very conducive and healthy for my spiritual growth, and my mind is filled with negativity and wrong thoughts, and just I need to change. Because taking care of spiritual life is our responsibility. And if you are not advanced enough to deal with them, for whatever reason, then one has to make a change. And one can take guidance on how to deal with them. Oftentimes by showing kindness, by giving prasad and appreciating. Oftentimes we can melt the heart of very rigid people. It takes some time. And if we try to do good for them, our mind will not be filled with negativity alone. That's why I told the second point. That appreciate one thing in one devotee in one day. So if we look for some appreciation, okay, at least he's hardworking, he comes in time. Some appreciation will help us to absorb or deal the other wrong thing what we were doing. Because when we deal with outside people, there's a lot of other aspects which get mixed up. So still, even at that level, to have some appreciation for him, for some good what he's doing, will help us to deal with his other part. So that will help. And if we find that it's still not working out, then change the situation. Living in stress is not an option. Living in negativity, stress, depression is not an option. We change ourselves, well and good. That's what we should do first. Try to change the situation a little bit by our endeavor. And if we can't do it to some certain extent and we are uncomfortable, we are bothered, we are stressed, then we change the situation and do something else. But we can take guidance in detail. So we know what endeavors to make to try to transform the person gradually. What happens when we do good to others, our heart becomes soft. Even if they don't accept it in that way, even if they don't, whatever, irrespective of their response, just by bringing good feelings in our heart for people, right? We become peaceful. It's for us, it's not for them. Right? Just like Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Maharaj said that when you give some money to a beggar who is begging, your heart becomes soft. Otherwise, your heart will become hard. You will not be able to be compassionate. Because you will see that, oh, these are beggars, they are suffering because they are better. your heart will become hard. So to keep your heart soft, that way you should give, not because the beggar is begging and you are a great person you are giving. No, you need to make your heart soft, right? You want to please the Lord. So then in that mood you give some prasad, something because they are in need. So similarly for keeping our heart soft in that situation, that's why we should be kind and we should give some prasad, appreciate them for something for ourselves. They may not change also. But by doing this, we will get the strength to deal with that situation. What comes. They may change or may not change. That's up to them. But by making an endeavor in that way, our heart will change and we'll say, okay, इतना बुरा नहीं है. टाइम पे आता है, टाइम पे जाता है, हमसे ज़्यादा मेहनत करता है. There are some good thing in everyone because everyone is just part and parcel of Krishna. So nobody is all bad. Nobody is all bad. Your devotees are all good, but nobody is all bad at all. Some good thing will be there. Prahlad Maharaj, Narsimhadev, Hiranyakashipu, this all Leela happened. And Narsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, liberated him. And then he went and sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu. And all acharyas are writing big commentaries. Why? So many yogis and jnanis, they are inviting the Lord to sit on the throne of their heart and Lord doesn't come and sit. And here Hiranyakashipu did not give invitation also. And Lord went and sat on the throne. Why? Because he thought, ultimately, who is Hiranyakashipu? Jai Vijay, by my wish, they have come. They're my cousin. Lord saw good in that also. That's why he's the throne, no problem. So the Lord saw good in Putana also. She was a witch. Her name was Putana, means no auspiciousness. The work was not auspicious. He was killing the babies. The dynasty was not auspicious. The form was not auspicious or beautiful. Nothing was there. Only one thing. She thought that I will kill Krishna by feeding him breast milk. That also was for killing. But in that also Krishna just saw, you want to feed me milk like a mother. In that, she was not having intention to feed milk, she wanted to feed poison. So Krishna is so powerful, he can see good in such a negative situation. We don't go through such extreme situations, somebody is trying to kill us by giving poison. Prahlad Maharaj even never thought that his father is troubling him at all. He thought his father is just having some fun with him. That's He never thought the father is trying to kill him or trying to. He never. That's why he never became angry with Hiranyakashipu. Never. That's why he wanted him to be liberated. He asked benediction for Hiranyakashipu. So we are not Prahlad, but neither are our people like Hiranyakashipu. The situation is both way diluted. It's not like we are not Prahlad. They are also not Hiranyakashipu. Right. So it's little adjusting is possible. And if we are not able to adjust, then under guidance and proper discussion, then one may change the situation. But one should do everything in one's capacity to, change oneself so that one can be. Okay, now it's too late. 8:28 now. Maybe it's fast or slow, whatever. Yeah, it's not fast. Okay, next time we meet, you, let's discuss two more aspects. But till then, you do this homework. Life is super tight. Today, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu went ad hoc. And yesterday I gave ad hoc of another class, so it was interchange. I couldn't say no. Otherwise, today also I have a class at 11 o'clock and then another meeting. Last 20 days I'm traveling a bit, so I'm not used to so much of travel. But we'll do it. Maybe next to next week. Next week I'll just settle down a bit and do my remaining pending. After that. Two more things we'll discuss about avoiding forward. Please take note. And unless you do this, this will be theoretical only. You have to first understand the seriousness of this. It will not help us advance in spiritual life. It will become an obstacle in spiritual life. So we need to give up fault finding and criticism, but to give it up, first you have to observe when and how it happens. Then think about it and then make a step-by-step plan to overcome. And simultaneously, practice appreciating one devotee for one good thing in one day. That is simultaneously. Then it will work well. And the other two things are well of you. First digest these two things, then we can discuss it. Not immediately. Okay? Correct. So Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. What to do with this recording?